What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo with Muscle Serpents Daily, and we are going to go into the snake room, which we are here, of course, and we're going to look at some cool stuff today. Just hodgepodge of stuff. I might also show you a little clip from my monster pond. Now, the monster pond across the street was at this property that my wife and I had bought a month ago, and I started putting my pacus in there. And if you guys have followed my Muscle Fish channel, you would have seen those. But I sold the house across the street. The market's good. I really did it because I'm going to take some of that profit that we made, probably all the profit, probably more than all the profit, and I have a lot next door to me that I want to build a huge reptile facility on, with an outdoor area for outdoor enclosures. I wanted to have crazy koi and turtle ponds out there. I want to make it like a tropical paradise outside, plus the indoor enclosures can be, I want to have some big enclosures for some of the bigger animals that I have, and plus enough room for all the babies and all the breeding we do. So we want to make a monster facility over there. With the help of Pablo, my assistant, we're going to design this thing over the next, 6 months or so, and then once we start breaking ground, I don't know when that's going to be. I'm going to keep you guys updated. But anyway, I'm going to show you a little clip from the monster pond. That was the last video I took. Hopefully the people across the street, might get bored and say, hey, you want the fish back at some point? And if I have my pond built, maybe I'll be able to throw them over there. If not, we'll start from scratch again. Fish grow pretty fast. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. All right, as you guys know, this pond here, I took over ownership about a year ago. I tropicalized it, as I like to say. In that mini pond, we grew up a bunch of 8 albino pacus and some Oscars. And actually, there's still some stuff left in here. There's some Plecostomus cats, some chalked up Plecostomus cats that somehow managed to survive in here really well, and they grew huge. All right, some early breeding action this year. I usually don't pair this early in the season, but I took some of the females that didn't go last year, and for some reason my snow female didn't go last year, that I bred to my snow male every single year. So I put them together and they're locked. So early locks here in 2021. So that's kind of cool. We're gonna leave them alone, and I like to see that. So it's feeding day here, or feeding night. I had a late night. My son had soccer. 5 years old, scored 4 goals. What do you know? No snake in here. So I'm like, well, I'm sure she's smelling these rats. So I looked, and lo and behold, there she is, my motley Call albino. It's het leopard, possible het jungle, or possible jungle, not possible het. She's like, I do want to eat. She's one of my favorite female boas I have. Gorgeous. I call her Pinky. Actually, one of the few snakes I named, and that's because she had a pink tail when she was born. Motley, beautiful motley pink tail. And she's produced my albino eclipse, this girl, and I'm gonna have to get her out of there so I can put her in her cage so I can feed her. She's definitely hungry. She's gonna be breeding this year. Going back to the breeding, she got the year off last year. Gorgeous girl. I'm gonna put a glove on. She's never ever bit me. This girl's like super nice, but I got rats permeating the air, the smell of rats, and you never know. So, and she looks like she's hungry. All right, here's a neat little pickup I just got. Expensive little pickup, and I'm so excited. This is my first RHINO rat snake. This is a blue RHINO rat snake. Actually, it's a male. Only one was available. And I said, I've been looking at these things for a couple of years, and I said, you know what? I really want to build some kind of a display facility where I'm going to have animals on display. This is something I just have to have. And I picked this little guy up. He just arrived. This is a blue RHINO rat snake. Why is he not blue? Because when they're babies, they're not blue. They get blue as they get older. So, and it makes sense because when they're babies, obviously they got to camouflage well so they don't get eaten. And blue or green, with the typical ones are green, would certainly stand out. Now, what makes these snakes so amazing is that little rhino with a little horn on their noses. Let's see if we can get him to show that. He's so little now, I can't even imagine what he's eating right now. Probably little pinkies. I hope he's eating pinkies. He's He's got the little horn on his nose now. Let's see, maybe we can zoom it in from out here. Let's see if I'm on. There we go. Look at that horn. How cool is this little snake? Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous I'm gonna kill this thing because I'm so used to having big boas, ball pythons and carpets, but kind of looks like a little baby carpet python. Pretty similar. So this is my new little project, and I'll keep you guys updated on this as he starts developing color, as he gets bigger. I'll start hopefully chronicling what my issues are and problems I have with him and how I solve them. And this is an education process for me as well. So really loving this guy. All right, here's an interesting little duet. These are sisters, actually, from 2020. Yes, from the same clutch. This one has never eaten, or maybe has eaten 1 or 2 meals on her own. I've been having to pretty much assist force feed her since she was born about over a year ago. This one is a monster eater and might even breed this year. How crazy is that? Look at that discrepancy. They're both Enchi pied het clowns. I actually had another sister that was an actual Enchi pied clown. It just didn't make it, unfortunately. She was like this one. I thought this was going to wind up the same way because she was also very weak and wasn't eating at all and just wasn't responding well, just died one day. I mean, and these two, this one lived and is still going. So I think this one will start eating on its own pretty soon. This one, monster eater, eating medium rats easily and doing really well. And hopefully, like I said, might get into the breeding rotation this year. She's a little small right now, but I think if she pounds a few more rats for the next 2 months, she should be fine. But I want to just show you guys because this happens. It happens, and you can see the discrepancy here. And it's something that you're going to see if you breed enough snakes. Some won't eat, some will eat. You know, probably in nature, this snake would be dead. You know, and this one wouldn't. Although I don't think we'd see either one of these with all these morphs in nature. But that's the reality of ball python breeding, of any snake breeding for that matter. And I guess we'll finish up today's video with a little update from my IMG Scoria Boa. Some people felt it was an IMG. I can tell you for sure this thing is definitely IMG. It's just getting darker and darker. And very cool looking, great eyes. Just 8, so I don't want to really handle it too much. He's a different clutch from the other litter that I have listed on Morph Market, which is the het albino clutch. So I purchased this guy separately myself before I got that clutch, and I like him. He's got a lot of contrast in him. He's got really tremendous reds in him. He's got a really awesome eye. He's got the IMG coming in, and he's got those little medallions along his side right there are so bright and pronounced. I just like this guy, even though, like I said, he's, you know, genetically he doesn't have that het albino in him. I just think he's just tremendous. I think I'm going to keep him anyway because I really like him a lot. And once again, with Scorias, he's even got that little cross on he's got the little Jesus Christ cross on his head. You know, you can never, you know, with Scorias discount how they look. I mean, like, a lot of genes are the same. You have a spider ball python, it's a spider ball python. You have a pied, it's a pied, although, you know, you get different expressions of pied. But with these Scorias, they all look so different that the babies that they produce really are dependent on how the snake looks. Although you could throw some crazy looking babies from a normal, you know, a regular average looking Scoria, and I'm sure from an amazing Scoria, you could probably throw some average babies. It's just a lot of variability. But I like them so much, so I'm going to put them into the breeding rotation at some point a couple of years from now. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I showed you a little of this, a little of that. Pretty amazing when you can see how in the same clutch, 2 sisters can be so drastically different. And that just goes to show you that not all snakes eat well initially, but you know what? In the end, that small little, you know, girl might wind up being my best breeder, and she might produce some of the best babies. You never know. You never know. Once they start eating and catch up, it's like kids. Some kids start talking early, some kids start walking early, some kids take a longer time. By the time they're all 5 years old, they're all walking and talking, right? So anyway, if you enjoy what you see, and hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit the like button. We'll see you back tomorrow morning.